Hello and welcome back to my channel. Cory here, and we are on day 30 of the 31 Days of Tarot Challenge, and today we are talking about the most culturally inclusive decks that we own. This is to share one deck, but I have a couple to share with you. The first one would be Ethony's Bad Bitches Tarot, which is actually upstairs right now on my working altar, but I have a full walkthrough of it, which I will link down below. It's gorgeous. There are women of all shapes and sizes, all colors, androgynous looking women, gorgeous feminine figured women. We've got just a whole variety in age, all of it, just women of all different types. But it is women only, just like along with my Girls Drawing Girls deck. I feel like this is pretty good at showing different cultures, but again, it is women drawing women, so it's a female only deck, so in that respect it's not as inclusive. But I mean, I primarily work with women to connect them to goddess energy. Like, I love you guys, but that's not my niche. You're not my niche. You're not my target audience. I love you, I promise. So I buy a lot. When I see a female only deck, I tend to pick it up. Also, decks heavily created by female artists. But, you know, I did a full walkthrough on this, so I'm only going to show a couple. But I think that this one also does an amazing job showing different ranges, ages, you know, cultures of women. Just badass women. You know, in different, all different walks of life. But again, it is only women. Another one that kind of is culturally inclusive, although there's more white people in this deck than than there are people of color, which is slightly unfortunate. But part of that is lending to the fact that this is the Astara Tarot, and this is another collaborative deck, and a recent acquisition of mine. However, it's only got 4 artists, so you're really looking at the art style of just those 4 voices. And a couple of them, the style is more cartoon than it is realism. And so we have a lot of characters that look like this one right here. But we have the dudes. The bros are represented. So it's one of the more culturally inclusive decks, but I would say the Girls Drawing Girls and the Bad Bitches Tarot are even more culturally inclusive, way more. Another one that's kind of I would kind of maybe lump it in that category, would be my 78 Tarot Astral edition. This one I would kind of consider semi-culturally inclusive because, again, it's several different artists depicting artwork, but we got some non-humans represented. But what I find interesting is that we're really looking at the artist's interpretation, you know, them bringing in their own cultural influence and experiences in with what they think space would look like, if that makes sense. And there are some cards in here. Let me get to one. We got penguins in space. You know, that do depict you know, some cultural representations of cosmic energies, cosmic icons or iconography. And we do, you know, especially in the astronauts, we do see different cultures here. What I don't see a lot of is different age range, if I'm going to be perfectly honest. But a lot of it is aliens, you know? Depicting that weird, ethereal, dreaming, cosmic vibe. So this one would be like really borderline for me. But they do try, and I do include it because there are so many different artists' voices in here. And their interpretation of, you know, that astral, that alien energy is definitely, I think, influenced by their own culture and their own experiences and what they've been exposed to in their way of thinking. So it's on the more interesting side, very borderline, but still very cool. Now, as far as the absolute, probably most culturally inclusive that I own, because it includes men and women, that would be, it's not even a tarot deck, you guys. This is the Awakened Soul Oracle. And this one is another one written by Ethony Dawn, illustrated by Danielle Mulligan, I believe. And yes, want to make sure I get her name right. And just all the different folks that are included in here, men and women, shapes and sizes, colors, age range. Like, this deck does such an amazing job with depicting all sorts of people and couples and families and situations here. I just love it, and it's probably is one of my favorite decks to work with. Like I said, age, we've got kids in here, whole groups of people, all different walks of life as well, you know. Just stunning. Got the yogis and the corporate people. And so I feel like there's a representation of just about everybody within this deck. We even got some roller derby girls in here somewhere. But different sizes, shapes of people. This deck is one of my favorites for that. There they are. Yeah, get it. Got tarot readers represented, card readers, card slingers. And so this one is probably one that I would say would be the one that I have in my collection. That's the most culturally inclusive, if we were to talk about who's depicted in the cards. And even what's represented, you know. Lots of different stuff going on here. Even animals, too. And mer people. Got the mer people in there. But even, like, I feel like some of these, we've got different time frames going on as well. And so I don't think it would be difficult for anybody to, or hard for anybody to connect to this deck. It's one that I use a lot. A lot. So, I mean, probably out of these, even, you know, as far as the tarot decks go, I know that they're strictly women. Another one that I have that would be culturally inclusive, that I will have to do a walkthrough for you guys at one point. That is also on my working altar at the moment, so I'm unable to show you, sadly, is the Cosmos Tarot. That is another one that is a multi-artist deck, and that one also has a lot of different cultural depictions. I feel like, you know, with the Awakened Soul Tarot and the Bad Bitches Tarot, those artists did a freaking amazing job making sure that those decks were culturally inclusive while still, you know, just having it be one artist. But I'm really digging the multi-artist decks, the collaborative decks. I know those are so hard to put together and execute, but as far as being really culturally inclusive, because you have so many different voices from so many different walks of life all around the world, you know, I get that it's hard to get a single vision out of it, you know, but I feel like it still works. And it makes it even that much more rich when you're doing readings with these types of decks. So good decks that I would recommend, especially, you know, being collaborative ones, the Girls Drawn Girls, the 78 tarot decks are all amazing. And from Light Gray Art Labs, both their first tarot deck and the Cosmos Tarot, excellent. So that would be it. And then obviously, you know, anything from our girl Ethony is going to be badass. So those are the decks that I wanted to show you guys as far as my most culturally inclusive decks. Do you have any amazing culturally, you know, varied decks that you have in your collection? Because I'd be interested in adding them to mine. So leave your favorites down in the comments below, or if you've got a video response to today's prompt, let me know and I will go head over to your channel and watch. Thank you guys so much for watching and sticking with me through this challenge. We have one more day tomorrow. So until then, blessed be.